Welcome to the presentation of AcuRental, an AcuBoost product published by Information Integration Group. AcuRental is a fully integrated rental order processing system developed in Acumatica code set, giving you the ability to process all your rental transactions from generating quotations to crewing, service, CRM, project accounting, fixed asset, payroll, and financials in one cloud-based multi-company, multi-currency system. AcuRental gives you the ability to generate bill codes. Bill codes will represent the pricing for a day, week, month, hour, even based on start and end time of the rental. When it comes to invoicing, you can generate your invoices upfront upon return periodically or based on set schedules, or load the information into the project accounting module to generate invoices based on project setting. You will have the ability to view time-based availability for all items. At any time, you will see what you have available of a given item next month or the end of this month. You can drill down from a nice dashboard and see all the transactions, all rental contracts that are to be shipped or to be returned for the entered date range. We manage your missing and damaged transactions. We allow you to give the customer a grace period, and if they do not return the product during that time, you have the option to generate an invoice. We let you process your sub rentals, and if you have the ability to keep track of the detailed information for each piece of equipment, make, model, date of last scheduled service. You have the ability by equipment define the inspection steps that need to be performed when you're shipping the product or when you're receiving the product back. You also have the ability to generate rental contracts from the Acumatica's field service module. So if someone goes out to the field and sees the product needs to be repaired and will be out of operation, they have the ability to just generate a rental contract just from the mobile device that they have that they're processing the field service transaction. So that's a quick overview. I'm going to start showing the program. So this is our dashboard. So in our dashboard, as I mentioned, you enter the date range. For the entered date range, you'll see all the products that are on rent, and you'll see the information here as well. And you can drill down to any one of the items. You see all the orders that are to ship in that date range, or all the items that will be returned. So you have the ability to every Friday to easily put the date and see what are all the transactions that are coming back next week, or basically see what are each morning, what are the transactions, the rentals that are going to come back today. So we're going to go and enter a rental transaction into the system. So the very first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select the customer number. So again, our rental is developed in Acumatica code set, so there's no difference from screen to screen. It's just the same Acumatica customer, same Acumatica vendor information. The very first thing you do is you click on the rental info, and this allows you to enter a date range. So you can tell it that this order is from 7/5 to 7/30. Notice that I mentioned you can have different starting and ending date range for inventory management versus billing. Now, if you do not want to enter an ending date, you just check this setting either here or the customer record and just start rentals, and there's no need to enter any date range. The rest of the information here is loaded from the customer record. You have the ability to change them if you want to. Otherwise, after just entering the date range, you'll go to the details and you start entering the items into the system. But some of the other information that's available to us, you can change the bill code, whether you're changing this billing this customer weekly, monthly, hourly. All of that is entered here. If you want to bill the customer, set there the month, 10th, 20th, or at the end of the month, you could set that up. You can have the system calculate the best price. You can bill a period in advance, only the first period in advance if you want to have a minimum billing. Or if you have multiple shipments, bring everyone to the first shipment date or enter the first date in here. So there's other settings, and then basically here, once you're done with this setting, you start loading items into the system. You click on add rental items, and this gives you the ability to go through the grouping of items, construction, hoist, fence, any one of this grouping and select that, and it will change this item. You select the items and load them and go to the next grouping. Maybe you're entering the labor or speakers, audio, microphones, lighting. You can just go to the grouping, select the item from each grouping, load them into the order, and build your orders as you're going through. This is where you enter the grouping, breakout session 1, 2, and any item you load, it would get loaded with that grouping code. So here, I'm just going to come in here and just enter an item for us to process. I just entered a TV, so I'm just going to enter the item, quantity 1. So you have the ability to enter a serial number if you want to reserve the number. Otherwise, basically, you have the ability to, as when you're entering the shipment, confirming the shipment, enter the serial number at that time. So the pricing came from this item entry. So, but the processing rental transaction is very straightforward. So once you're done, you just click on confirm shipment, and you have the items entered. It will give you the ability to bring the shipment record up, and you can enter the serial number at this point. Now, of course, all of this, you can scan this information to the system. You have the ability to scan or manually enter the serial numbers that you are shipping to the customer. And you can enter the meter reading. Meter reading, you could be set up by item, so it's forced, and you have to enter a meter reading every time you bring the product back. Now, any picture, any comments you entered here is tracked for this shipment. So at all point of time, you'll have visibility over what what was the condition of the product when you ship the product to the customer. So we're confirming our shipment. So this product, this SB9, is a serial number of this item that we just confirmed shipment to the customer. So that item went from being on rent to being on a rental order to being on rent. I'm going to take us to the item to show you information about the item. Then I'm going to take us to this equipment record to show you a little bit of information about the equipment record. So when I bring up the item, this is the stock item, a Samsung item that we have. So here we have a rental tab, which allows us to enter the pricing weekly, daily, monthly. If you have different prices from this day to this day, you could enter those. You could enter whether it's a package, whether meter reading should be forced, whether you have scheduled billing, whether you want to post cost, whether you want to inspect the item. You set that inspection is required here, and you enter all the different inspections that need to be performed. The actions allow you to define the inspection where you want to inspect it, when it comes up back, or when you're shipping it, or you're doing kit assembly. These are all your different inspections that you perform. So this is the information that we track for the items I've mentioned. For the rental contract, we also manage the availability. So if I bring up that item, I have the availability to see the availability of the item for that. So if I extend the date and say, show me the availability to November 23rd, it would show me from what date to what date, how many I have available. Now, if I want to show this information about the specific equipment, specific serial number that I rented, then of course we have the program that would show us that specific serial number. So if I can just bring up that SMG 2500 item and look at the SB9 serial number, notice that if I can go look at the current status of it, and SB9, it would tell me that it's on rent because we just rented it out, and they would have all these different tabs that would show us information about the equipment that's available to us to view and to see information about the item. So again, rental orders are processed, and you have the ability to enter packages. Now I'm going to enter a second order, and this order I'm going to enter a rental package, so you'll see how that is operated. That's for process. So similar to that, we can have an ending date of 7/31, except now when I go to the rental info, I have the ability to basically That's that. Go ahead and select an item that is a rental package. So I could just basically come in here and have it show me my hoist and select an hoist item. And it will go ahead and load that item for me. And notice that now, instead of just loading one item, system will load multiple items. So, and it, of course, the item could even have an option, and it would show me my options and allow me to select one of the options based on the settings. So we're going to go and look at this item to see how the options are defined. As you saw, we just entered this item and it loaded this many items: rental, sales, labor. So we're just going to click on it, and it's going to see that here we've told it it's a kit, and we've told it that whether to do kit pricing or not, so you can have a bundle price that the system is using to do its pricing. Now, to see the options that are defined for it, the package, how the package is defined, we'll come to the program where you set up your packages. So in this program, we have the ability to basically tell it that this item is the package this contains this product, and these are the options. It's a scaffolding package, and you have the option to having side panel, safety training provider, and safety cap. And based on the bill options, you would basically tell it what should happen for each one of the packages. So here we're going to tell it that for that package, if somebody has safety training, it decided selected California, then you add an additional safety OSHA manual and some training additional hours to be as part of it. So again, we give you the ability to not only package items together, but even configure them based on questions that you're answering. We will load certain labor and material into the rental contract for you. But some of the other things that you can do for the process transactions, you can swap the items, you can do sub-rentals. If you sub-rental, we manage generating sub-rental purchase orders for you right from here. But once you confirm shipment, it's just like the other order, and you have the ability to process your shipment. Now, as I mentioned, there was group code that we could assign group code, and you copy from one group code to the other group code. And the beauty of that is, once you do that, when you're shipping it, you can generate different documents for the different products that are going. So if you go in here, you could tell it that this product is shipping on the 20-foot truck or 10-foot truck, and enter all that information in here. So 20-foot truck is going to take this and make sure take 2 crew members. And so you enter the information, and the beauty of it is you could tell it what goes in as part of each truck, and you select the items that should basically be loaded in that truck or on that pallet. So it gives you the ability to print your different sheets and handle it accordingly. So again, shipments could be very easy, just process one item, or we give you the ability to process multiple, shipment for a transaction, print multiple pallets, and handle the products differently. So the next thing we can do is to do the perhaps the return on the product that we just rented a little while ago. So all the rental functions can be performed right from the rental contract. If your operation is such that your customer service rep processes the transactions, or you could just run from the menu, the different menus, and run the program. So one thing I failed to mention, if you're doing hourly billing for the rentals, then when you're shipping it or when you're returning it, you're entering the starting this end time, return time, then it has an impact. It would not just be informational, it's actually used as part of calculating the rental charge for you. Notice you have missing and damaged here. Also, by item, you have the ability to enter charges. If you're doing a fuel charge, you can just set this up and by item what it should be, and the fee is easily added to your rental. Or if you have a return fee or a fuel charge you want to add, it's easily added here at this point. This is where we've told it that the QC is required, so it knows that based on the QC settings, it's gonna basically create for us the QC transaction for us to process and inspect the product freely. So there's two things that happen. One is that the serial number has any status that gets set. So if I come in here to QC inspection tracking, you would see that for whoever is in charge of inspection, system says on this item, these are the inspections that you need to do, hoist and so forth. And the person has the ability to go through and say completed. And of course, you can set up by inspection, by QC inspection, whether or not that's a supervisory approval, and that it would not let you do that, approve it until the supervisor has approved it, and that's by approved by field is a field that is access control. So you have the ability to save it and approve it, and basically now you can do it all at detail inspection and detail repair, or you could do the inspection at the very high level just by item. Just come to it and just tell it that you inspected the item. So you have an option of doing both or just one. So here you could tell it that I'm basically changing the inspection and any item, view it and change the inspection to return in stock. So some of the other things that you could do at the item level, we talked about having the ability to push to project accounting. So if you're doing processing an item, and for a lot of companies would like, when it's a new item, to post to GL until the item is fully posted to GL, the cost is posted, then they take that out. So that's done in here. You have the ability to do that. Rental item, you could tell it whether or not you want to post costs and what amount you want to post. And so that's an option that we have available. Also, the project accounting, if you're doing your billing based on the project percent completed, 50%, 10%, you could just have the rental post to project accounting as costs, and then you could mark those up and invoice the customer for it, or you can still generate the invoices from the sales order module for the rentals, but just post costs. As I mentioned, we also allow it from the field service module. If the technician goes out to the field, either from the workstations or from the mobile device, to basically create a rental if they're realizing that this piece of medical equipment with this tractor needs to come back for repair, it's going to be out of service, and they need to initiate a rental after talking to the customer. They can enter the rental information. So this is a quick overview of our rental processing. Please feel free to give us a call if we can be of any assistance in going over your specific needs.